Hello, welcome to Ennara Reacts. Today I am watching another video from the Fat Electrician from his Fat Files. And this one apparently saying that you will wear Crocs. I personally have never worn Crocs, but let's see why he thinks everybody will be.
You guys knew this one would be unhinged and you still kept requesting it, so this one's your fault. Today we're talking about Crocs. Okay, I'm not gonna go into depth explaining what Crocs are, okay? You know what Crocs are. It's the official footwear of people that don't give a single fuck about anything, and parents that are too lazy to tie their kids' shoes, went to JCPenney's, saw the shoes with the Velcro, and were like, that's still too much work. Give me the miniature Jason Voorhees mask and get it on my kid's foot so I don't have to do anything.
Who do you think you are?
Okay, and before you get all butthurt, my kids have Crocs too, okay? I am also that parent. In fact, Cutter, Cash!
Run!
Thundering herd.
It's a stampede!
Boys, show the people your Crocs. What kind of Crocs do you got? You got Hot Wheel Crocs? And Cutter's got Minecraft Crocs with his Minecraft shirt, because everything's got to be Minecraft.
It has things stuck to it.
Exactly. All right, good job. See you boys later.
See you, Dad.
Love you.
See you, butthead.
I ain't gonna kill you this time. I'm just gonna kick your ass.
So yeah, we all know what Crocs are, and to be honest with you, I was pretty convinced and or hoping that it was just a really long, drawn-out fad at this point, but now that I've done the research into the company and I've looked at everything, not only am I thoroughly convinced it's not a fad and it's not going anywhere, Crocs is probably gonna take over the world at some point and be the only shoe
Really?
anybody wears ever, like the movie Demolition Man, where every restaurant becomes Taco Bell.
Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
No way.
And we're gonna get into it right after a word from our sponsor.
Delete me.
Where did you get an HK416?
Don't worry about it.
What? Where are you going? Is that my blood diamond shirt? All right, here's the deal. Super simple, straightforward business model. You give them money, they turn around and make sure the data brokers on the internet aren't selling your personal information. What does that even mean? Okay, here's the entire internet and every free service on the planet inside of a nutshell, okay? There's a saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. What that means is pretty much anything on the internet that you use, that's a service, whether that be Google, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of it, okay? It's all an app. So one of two things is happening. They're either gonna feed you ads, and that's how that company makes money since their service is free, or they're gonna collect your personal information, then turn around and sell it to data brokers on the internet, and then they're gonna turn around and sell it to whoever buys it, and next thing you know, you're getting 17,000 robocalls every single day. And that's where Delete Me comes in. They will look through all the major data brokers and find the ones that are selling your personal information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf, and then they are legally obligated to comply. And then they'll continue to monitor these data brokers, and if they get your information again, Delete Me will submit an opt-out request again. Basically, you're paying Delete Me to get rid of all the downsides of all of the free stuff on the internet, which I think is absolutely worth it. If you want to check them out, I'll have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, our story begins like all great stories with a boys trip between three homies, Lyndon, George, and Scott. And they go out on this fishing trip in the Caribbean, and Lyndon brings with him this ugly ass pair of foam clogs for his fishing shoes. He picked them up on his last fishing trip in Quebec from some Canadian company called Foam Creations, and they were marketed as like these boat shoes that were really good for boating because, you know, they're foam, they're super comfortable. Because they're foam, they're waterproof, they're odor resistant. If they fall in the water, they float, so it's not gonna sink to the bottom of the ocean.
What about
And for
traction?
that, they were pretty great. The only problem, obviously, they're ugly and dorky looking, so his two friends did the appropriate thing that dudes do, and they roasted him for it the entire time. But then he ends up convincing them to try it on, and holy shit, they're awesome.
It was actually worth it.
It's like doing a silk bag full of puppy ears.
Call.
How the hell would you even know what that felt like?
They literally go from, those
don't wanna
shoes are
know.
hideous and stupid, keep them away from me, to, hey, it's my turn to wear the sandals.
All right, who's got it? I've got it.
Donnie.
I'll give it back to Thad, but I just need one more night with this, please.
What is it?
Now, all three of these friends are like successful entrepreneur type people, and they're like, okay, we should actually buy up this company and start selling these shoes, and we could probably even make the product better. And George is like, yeah, we could start adding a bunch of different colorways and then have color options for everybody. Which, to be fair, good idea, but Scott has the ultimate idea. We should put a strap on the back so this bad boy's got four-wheel drive, and then when we don't want to be in sport mode, we can flip it forward and still wear them like normal sandals.
You did. You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
Okay, history has just been made. They end this fishing trip. They immediately go to that Foam Creations company out of Canada and they obtain a licensing agreement. Not only is Foam Creations going to make the shoes for them, they also have exclusive rights to Croslite, which is a special type of foam that Crocs are made out of. So they pull some money together, get 200 pairs made, and then that same year in 2002, they go to the Fort Lauderdale boat show, set up a table, and are literally at this boat show overhanding Crocs at people that are walking by. And then when they stop because they just got hit with a fucking shoe and they're like, why? The person's like, hey, just try them on. And they end up selling all 200 pairs in like a couple of hours. And from here, they're off to the races. It's all downhill from here. Crocs are like a plague. They're like vampires, okay? Because now those 200 people are gonna go home. They're gonna force all their buddies to try on these funky looking shoes. And everybody's gonna be like, oh my God. And then they're gonna go buy a pair too. And that's exactly what happens. In 2003, they sell 76,000 pairs. And then in 2004, they have so much money that they just buy out Foam Creations as a whole. Now they own the factory and they own the patent for the special foam Croslite, so nobody's ever going to be able to copy them. Which is a brilliant idea because Crocs are like the easiest shoes on the planet to make. It's literally an injection molded shoe. You just liquefy the resin, shoot it inside of the mold, wait 10 minutes, pull it out, ta-da, you've got a fucking Croc. Then in 2005, they rebrand and officially become Crocs. They named it that because crocodiles can be in both land and in sea, and they're super tough and they last forever. Then they launched their first big marketing campaign with the slogan, "Ugly is beautiful," which is absolutely perfect for Crocs. These guys are experienced entrepreneurs. They're 2 years into this. They're already completely vertically integrated and they know exactly what makes them successful. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. Why is ugly is beautiful a genius idea, right? It's like saying hot is cold. You're saying two things that are objectively not the same thing are the same thing. How is that the key to success? Okay, let me lay this out for you. You see, Crocs are a lot like pugs. Pugs are a genetic abomination that would not exist on this planet if it were up to evolution and natural selection. But somehow they're absolutely everywhere and they're thriving, and it comes down to the simple fact that they are so ugly that the apex predator on the planet, human beings, look at them and go, haha, that shit's funny, I'm gonna keep one. In the same way that humans have taken a badass wolf out of the forest and through selective breeding turned it into a pug, Scott, George, and Lyndon have taken Air Jordans and Timberlands and all the other cool footwear to ever exist and turned it into a Croc and said, look at this fucking abomination, try it on.
It's actually an upgrade. Upgrade, you say? Yes, sir. Oh. Don't mind if I do.
Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to explain to you that they've finally unraveled how to market this to normal everyday people, right? Because up until now, they're just marketing it as a boating shoe, but now they've figured out how to weasel their way into the common zeitgeist and get everybody to buy this shit. If you want to look sporty and cool, you buy Nike. If you want to look sporty and not cool, you buy Adidas or Skechers. If you want to look like a blue collar guy, you buy yourself some work boots. If you want to look like a blue collar guy but don't actually want to work, you buy yourself some Timberlands. And if you want to look like a blue collar guy but only want to work like 6 hours a week at a coffee shop and then bitch about the patriarchy and social justice online the rest of the time, you buy yourself some Doc Martens, you know, that shoe that was invented by a Nazi doctor in World War II, because nothing says social justice quite like that.
Really? Doc Martens were invented by a Nazi doctor? That's disturbing.
You're saying
Yes.
Let's talk about fine.
Don't worry, I got more. If you could almost do a kickflip 20 years ago and now both your knees crack when you get out of bed, you probably wear Vans. And if it's fall and you want to send out the message that you're not like all the other girls, you probably wear Ugg boots, you know, like all the other girls.
I'm sorry.
I have never worn Uggs either.
You're a basic bitch.
And then if you want to let everybody know that you don't wear deodorant, you have a small collection of crystals, and you blame all your shitty character flaws on astrology, you probably wear Birkenstocks. There, is everybody offended? We're all equal now.
Hey,
good, moving on.
You forgot Skechers. I wear Skechers.
And then finally, Crocs became a thing. Finally, a shoe that said to the entire world, my feet are comfy and I don't care what you think about me. And if you have a problem with it, I will flip these bad boys into four-wheel drive and we can address the issue. It is quite literally the official footwear of
I don't give a fuck.
Buh! This is a bunch of cope because you wear Crocs. Buh! No, I don't. I don't wear Crocs. I actually had to go buy a pair of Crocs for this video and I have yet to try them on. Why? Because I'm scared, to be completely honest with you. I treat Crocs the same way I treat cocaine. I avoid it because I'm concerned I'm gonna like it too much. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try them on. All right, here we go. Yeah.
And he likes it?
This is gonna be an issue. My wife's gonna be pissed. They're even comfier than I thought. I don't know how that's possible. You know what? Fuck it. My feet are comfy. I don't care. King Arthur couldn't pull me out of these shoes. Sorry, we're completely unhinged at this point. We got to get back to the story. So 2025, they start marketing to absolutely everybody. And if we pull up the stock chart, you can see it goes pretty fantastic. They become a full-blown fad. People absolutely love them. Because of that, they take the company public and they end up raising $208 million, which is the highest IPO for a shoe company ever. They then use some of that money to double down on the quirky ugliness and they buy out a company called Jibbitz. Jibbitz was a company making those little tiny plastic things that you can shove inside the hole of a Croc that shows off, like, I don't know, your favorite sports team or your favorite cartoon character or a Croc, you know, in case you want somebody to look at your Croc wondering what type of shoes you like, so you have a Croc Jibbit on your Croc.
Guess who's back?
Basically, they just allowed more customization. They could allow your particular flavor of ugly. And to be fair to Croc, I do respect the fact that they actually bought this company out, because I'm fairly confident there's no way this company had a patent on a chunk of plastic that fits inside of a hole. They probably could have just started manufacturing it themselves, brought about the end of that company, but they paid them out like $10 to $20 million instead. So
nice for them.
I respect that part. All right, on to 2027.
Fuck.
You didn't tell everybody how in 2006 the movie Idiocracy came out and everybody in that movie wore Crocs because they thought it was the dumbest shoe ever at the time. Yeah, obviously, because everybody already knows that, okay? But hey, now that we're here, why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody that in Lord of the Rings, when Aragorn kicked a helmet and screamed, that was a real scream because he actually broke his foot. And then we can all watch Django Unchained and you can stop the movie to tell everybody that Leonardo DiCaprio accidentally cut his hand on the dinner plate and acted the way through it anyways.
Did you know?
Really?
Yes.
There, you happy? We're all on the same page now. On to 2027. This is where they messed up absolutely everything. They took all the money and investments that they got after they bought Jibbitz. They had a ton of money left over, so they started investing in not Crocs. Basically, they turned the Croc brand into something that it wasn't and was never meant to be. They started trying to make normal shoes. They started trying to actually compete at making sandals against Birkenstock and making sneakers against Skechers, and it was a tremendous disaster. Okay, it happens every single time a company goes public. They get a bunch of investors and a bunch of MBAs that know how to do business, that have huge ideas but have never actually done anything on their own, and they're like, you know what? We should go with my ideas of completely changing a perfectly successful company every fucking time this happens, okay? Do not do that. If you're successful at anything, not business, not this, not that, literally anything in life, if you're successful at it, keep doing whatever made you successful at it in the first place. You go home with the girl you took to prom. It's not that complicated. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But guess what? They tried to fix it. Then 2008, housing bubble pops, economic recession, the stock price drops from like $70 a share all the way down to $1 a share. They are on the verge of bankruptcy. And then guess how they fixed it? You're never gonna guess how they fixed it. They quit making all the stupid other shoe designs and just kept making Crocs. They were doing the thing that made them successful in the first place. Shocking. Problem, the fad that was Crocs in the early 2000s had already died and they killed it. So now they just had to go back to marketing to like boating people, people in healthcare, highly specific customers that used Crocs because they were working on their feet for long hours, because they needed a shoe that they could just rinse off in the sink if it got dirty and call it good. And they just kept marketing to that small niche minority for years. Then going back to the stock chart, you see in 2012, they got a little bit of a bump. I can only assume that the first Crocs that they sold in 2002 had finally worn out and those people bought another pair of Crocs in 2012. And then it just tapers back off and levels out again as they just keep marketing to that small niche community. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You can still make a ton of money selling to fishermen and healthcare people, and you just keep doing that forever. And you got a perfectly good business. You keep making money year over year, and you're still good. But then something incredible happened in 2018, looking back at the stock chart, okay? What happened in 2018? I'll tell you exactly what happened. All the people that were little kids during the first Croc boom, when they were 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and their parents were buying them Crocs and sending them off to school because they were too lazy to tie their shoes, guess what? Now they're the 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old teenagers that determine everything that's cool in the world. Okay, you sent them off to school in stupid-looking shoes, and they've literally turned around now at 18 years old and said, joke's on you, I'm into that shit. This is gonna be popular. This is the greatest generational revenge that Gen Z is ever gonna have. Are they ever gonna be able to afford a house? Probably not. Are they ever gonna have affordable healthcare? Almost certainly not. But you know what? They had the capacity to make these stupid looking shoes cool, and that's exactly what they did, and I'm super proud of them. And guess what all of us are gonna be wearing in the old folks' home when they're the ones taking care of us? We're gonna be wearing Crocs.
Hell yeah.
So if you don't like Crocs, you better get over it now, because trust me, it's coming. There's only two types of people on the planet: people that hate Crocs and people that used to hate Crocs, and you're about to be the second one. Back to the business itself though, Crocs said, okay, if Gen Z wants to make us cool, we're gonna help them out. Crocs quite literally just went, okay, what's popular? Popular people, famous people. Okay, we're gonna start doing deals with famous people. Now you've got Post Malone Crocs, you've got Justin Bieber Crocs, you've got fucking Balenciaga high heel Crocs that are selling for $800 a pair and selling out in the first couple of hours.
Crocs?
You know what else is popular? Memes. We can do memes. Fucking cowboy boot Crocs with spurs.
What?
Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Crocs. No. Does anybody want cowboy boot Crocs?
I would think not.
Is there a market of people that if you put it in front of their face, they'll go, oh my God, it's so ugly. I will buy it for the sole reason of wearing it to a party to get belligerently drunk? Absolutely. So they helped Gen Z make it cool. They created another fad. Now, here's the thing. This is clearly a generational game, so we've got to set up the next generation for the future. We're going to sign a licensing deal with Disney, and then we're going to make Crocs cool for little kids. Okay, because now all the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, they're not going to school and daycare in stupid plain colored Crocs. Oh no, now they're going to school in fucking Lightning McQueen Crocs, Shrek Crocs. My kid's going to school in Minecraft Crocs. And guess what? He thinks it's awesome. He thinks they're the coolest shoes on the planet, and so do all the other little kids his age. He's gonna be wearing Crocs for the rest of his life, and I didn't even realize I did that to him until I made this video. Okay, it's game, set, match. The teenagers right now think it's cool, the kids right now think it's cool, and everybody else left over is gonna be forced into it the second they hit the retirement home. Crocs are going to take over the world as the only type of footwear.
World domination playlist.
Really?
You can already see it in the data. Crocs is worth like $5 billion right now. They literally went from $1 a share to $85 a share already. To put that into perspective, Nike's only $76 a share. Now, to be fair, Nike has way more shares and is still worth way more as a company for now, but you know who sees the writing on the wall? Nike. That's why they're trying to rip off Crocs. Okay, and I know what you're thinking.
Really?
Don't worry, Hey Dude is gonna save the day. They're basically just like Crocs, except they're nowhere near as ugly, right? They're Crocs, but for people that still care about what people think about them. Guess what? In 2022, Crocs bought out Hey Dude.
It can't be stopped.
Okay, we've all seen that meme where Blockbuster, the old movie rental place that went out of business, had the opportunity to buy Netflix for like $7 or some ridiculously cheap price back in the day, and they passed on it, and it ended up putting them out of business. Crocs did not make that same mistake. And guess what? Because of that, one day in the not too distant future, your ass is gonna be sitting in an old folks home wearing motherfucking Crocs, explaining to the nurse that back in your day, Netflix used to mail the DVDs to you and streaming wasn't a thing. And they're gonna be like, okay, Grandpa, take your meds. And the world is now run by Crocs. I hope you're happy. I cannot believe how unhinged this got. I also am amazed at how comfy these Crocs are. I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out. And now for me to unveil my exclusive collaboration, the Fat Electrician Croc. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that famous. See ya.
Okay, alrighty. There you go. He says everyone will wear Crocs in the future. We will have to wait and see if that happens. Like I said, I personally have never worn Crocs, never owned a pair, never even tried them on, so I don't know how comfortable they are, if they offer arch support, what have you. But I've never had any. My kids don't have any. I don't think I personally know anybody that has any that they wear often, because I've never seen them. But I know they are big. But that's ridiculous. So, alrighty. If you have any recommendations for other videos to watch, drop it in the comments, and I'll put a link to the original in the description. And thanks for watching another funny video from the Fat Electrician. Remember to hit like and subscribe.